YouTube. So you guys voted to celebrate 4K Pinecones that I just ramble for 30 minutes. So I've got the timer going, and I was very tempted to write down some notes or have some talking points, but I'm going to stay authentic. And I'm just going to talk. Just going to talk. So, maybe you'll even get to hear my neighbors' motorcycles. Who knows? This room is very quiet. Usually I have something on, some kind of background. I cannot focus on anything unless I have background noise, which is usually a movie or some music. But I guess I'll be my own background noise and just talk. Usually you can't shut me up. I've done a lot of speeches in my life. I would say more than usual. It just has happened that way, and I'm terrified of public speaking, but I love it so much. Even though it freaks me out, I love it because I love the idea that whoever is there for the speech, they have to listen to you talk. Whether they've come to learn something or they're being forced to be there by a teacher or a boss, they have to listen to you. And I've had some classes, both ones I elected to do and ones that I had to do. But in a lot of them, we got to choose whatever topic. And I remember the first proper speech I ever gave that I had practiced multiple times and not memorized, but I knew all my cue cards. I decided to do it about chickens. And I've always been very passionate about chickens. I love chickens. And I remember talking for 60 minutes about chickens. And all these kids had to listen to me, and I could just see, their eyes rolling back in their head. But it was, they sat there the whole time and they learned something. Chickens. I used to show poultry. I have trophies and ribbons. I was really into it. It's like the only thing that I could brag about for a long time. I had some great chickens, and I would train them, and I named them all after food. My best show rooster, his name was Cream Cheese, and he would sit on my shoulder like a parrot, and I'd go to these poultry events and these shows and competitions, and I would just walk around with him on my shoulder, and, we were a pretty cool team. He was super cute. The problem with chickens, everything wants to eat them. If it's alive, it wants to eat your chicken. Snakes, skunks, foxes, coyotes, mountain lions, bears, neighbor dogs, neighbor kids. They're so hard to keep alive. Everything loves chickens. So they are a lot of work, but they're incredibly smart. They're very sweet. They can learn their names. I had my chickens out. I used to let them out during the day, keep an eye on them. And next door, at the time, they were building a new structure, and the chickens would wander over, and the construction workers would feed the chickens their lunch, so the chickens just loved them. And the chickens would go, and they were all really tame because they were my trained birds, so they would go and they would hop up on their ladders and stuff. And I went over and I said, are they bothering you? And they're like, no. But then I don't know, the foreman, whatever, their boss came out and yelled at him because he's like, gotta stop playing with the chickens and get back to work. So I had to call my chickens back. But oh my God, we're 5 minutes in and I've talked about chickens this whole time. This is what I'm really like. Surprise. I do have a good joke that I told today. Did you hear about the 2 people that stole a calendar? They each got 6 months. Ba-dum. I don't have my little whistle with me. Hope you guys are doing okay. There's so much collective stress going on right now. I think it's amazing how many people are going through like the same issues simultaneously. I don't think I can think of, this might be the first event in my life where something has affected so many people immediately, because some things, tragedies or events, it'd be far away, or you'd know someone who is dealing with it or something like that. But everybody being directly affected is new. And it's tough because, everyone's stressed, everyone's complaining, but we're all going through it. So it's hard to turn to someone and, kind of, can I lean on you? Because they're going through the same thing. It's really interesting. But we're going to get through it. I was talking to somebody at work about coconuts. And I was saying, it's really fun. You get one from a grocery store. You get a hammer, I think, is one of the more difficult ways. But you can use a hammer. Hammer and a nail's better. Chisel's great. Just, so if you do it safely, like miter saw, chop the end right off. But it's really satisfying to get into a coconut and just eat it like a wild animal. And then I was thinking, is a coconut the seed of a palm tree? Or is it just a fruit and then there are other seeds? And I had no idea. And it drove me crazy all day. And we discussed it at great length. Because if you think about it, it's the only seed I could think of that has a water source inside of it. And then it has the meat part. It's like Anyway, so we looked it up. It's a fruit, a nut, and a seed. And the part that germinates is kind of on the end. And the whole rest of it is just food for the seed. So it's kind of like an egg yolk, where the yolk is food for the chick. It's meant to travel a very long ways, so it has to last a long time. Whereas like a bean just has, a bean amount of food. But you can take a coconut, soak it in water, and then it will start growing into a palm tree. I almost said a coconut tree. I guess that works too. So now I want to go get one and grow a coconut tree. I'm pretty sure the ones in the store are sterile, so they last longer, but yeah, I'd like to grow one. I usually have so much to say. I think I'm just really relaxed today. I got a ton of bath bombs from Lush. Love them. And even though it's been so hot, I feel like baths are super, super relaxing. So what I've been doing is I'll get my tarot cards, I'll do a drawing, and then I'll use the results of that drawing to pick a bath bomb. Like I'll match the color and the feeling or something. And then it's a great time to catch up on audios in the bath. I did a poll on Twitter to find out where people listen to audios, and whoops. Sorry, opened TikTok, which is what I was doing earlier. Most people said they listen to audios in bed, which is where I listen to most of them because I like it to be quiet and dark so I can just close my eyes and get into it without any distractions. I've been doing a lot of polls on Twitter. It's so fascinating to find out what people said. Oh, I just did another one. In a horror movie, you are the person who, and here are the options: hides, trips and falls, is the last alive, and was the killer all along. And that one got slightly the most. And if you've seen many horror movies, it turns out the main character was the killer all along. So I make that a joke a lot because, well, it might just turn out to be you. Surprise. Even though most horror movies are the same, I really like it. I really enjoy retellings and tropes and archetypes because, yeah, it's really familiar. It can be repetitive, but that's what I love because then all the basics are covered. So if you say, oh, you have, a fairy tale, let's say, the wolf one, the Red Riding Hood and the wolf. So you know what's going to happen, right? The basics of the story. And that's already a given, which means you have so much more freedom to spend exploring other ideas because you don't have to worry about solidifying the plot. And then you can do kind of twists and turns. You can make the wolf something else, or Red Riding Hood's the killer all along, like that sort of a thing. So I don't mind at all when movies repeat things or steal things or borrow things, as long as they can do it in a creative way. And that's something that one of my art professors told me that I loved. He said, if you're going to you can do the same thing, just do it better. Like, what's the point in repeating something someone's done unless you're going to improve it? And I think about that a lot. I think it's a good saying. And then let's see. Oh, another poll. I said, do you plan out your weekend ahead of time? 75% said no. So I guess I have some questions for you wild non-planners. What do you do? Do you just wait for the weekend to kind of roll up and then you just wake up Saturday morning and just do whatever you feel like? I feel like the weekend for me, because I have my job during the day, and then at night I paint and do audio stuff. So when the weekend comes, that's when I gotta rush to catch up on all clean stuff and run errands and plan. I don't know. I feel like my weekends are the most planned out, are the busiest. How do you not plan a weekend? How do you not plan a day? I want to know. Am I missing out, or are you guys just out of control? I don't know. While we're sitting here, I don't know if some people have really, really strong feelings about tarot cards. And I used to as well, because I was raised to believe everything is evil I will send you to hell. And when I came to understand that didn't align with my beliefs or how I saw the world, it opened up a lot of fun and creative and really lovely, heartfelt ways to express myself, including tarot cards. So I have them right here. They smell so good. Oh, they smell like a bookstore. Like where you go into a bookstore and you just open a book. Oh, please tell me you guys do that. That I'm not the only book sniffer. It's such a lovely, lovely smell. So I can just I'll do my nightly drawing, actually. You can just join me. Join me for my drawing. Yeah. Such a nice deck. Nice deck. So nice. Oh, let's see if I can do this. I'm not prepared at all. This is so off the cuff and authentic. I need something from a bass. Mama sang bass, Daddy sang tenor. Me and little brother, we joined that. This is not working. That's okay. Sometimes you just gotta press through. Oh no. I'm gonna do the classic. So until I learned to shuffle like a year ago, I'd always just spread them out on the floor and swirl them around. And if you do this with confidence, it's okay. But I would go to game nights with friends, and they'd be like, "Your turn to shuffle." And I would slap them down on the floor and swirl them around. And most times people wouldn't say anything. They'd just look on in awe. I think it's kind of like not knowing how to tie your shoes, but do it with confidence. No one says boo. Okay. All right. So they're shuffled. And when you're shuffling them, you think of your intention and kind of what you're asking, what you're inquiring about. So what I usually do when I do it at night is I will say, what kind of energy can I take into the evening? And then you split the deck. Well, you split it into 3. And then the cards, you can do reverse drawing, where if you, I don't know if that's the term for it, but if you flip the card and it's upside down, it means something else than if it is right side up. But I'm just going to do a straight up right side up. Got the star. This is such a beautiful card. One thing I love about tarot is there's no bad cards. And I know opinions differ, but I like to try to find the positive in things and like the forward facing lessons, if you will. So even the cards that are difficult, I think, can still be very uplifting. And I'm a little unsure about copyright, but I am not going to monetize this video, and I'll give plenty of credit. So I'm using the Light Seers Tarot with written by Chris Ann is what it says on the front. I don't know if that is their full name, but so I'll read this. The star. Sink into the dreamlike inspiration of the star. She sends a message of divine timing and renewed hope. She guides you to reach for that string of serendipity and faith. Your future is increasingly bright and you are blessed by the universe. Your core purpose is beginning to bubble at the surface of your reality, and your path is intrinsically tied to your biggest missions and brightest opportunities for expansion. Step onto a path of fulfillment and happiness with starlight to guide you. Allow your innate essence to shine through any residual darkness right now. Uncover any limiting beliefs or self-doubt that you're holding on to. Find the courage to voice any unexpressed emotions and release every bit of outgrown energy that is anchoring you to the past. It is time to release and ascend. As you let go, you will focus on the future and you will find your biggest source of inspiration and love. The stars are aligning in your favor and it's time to trust them. That is very beautiful. And then I always set the card I chose. If I'm doing it in the morning, I'll put it on my easel so when I paint, I can look at it. But I'm just going to put it face up on top of my deck. So there's the star. So I'll just pick my bath bomb since I have it out and you guys wanted to hang out and this is what it's like to hang out with me. So let me go get my bath bombs. Hold on. I think one of the absolute best things about being an adult is you can decide how to spend your money. I hate spending money on food. I like very, very cheap food, like rice and beans, because I would way rather spend my money on fun things like bath bombs. So I have my tub of bath bombs here. Okay. Sounds like stone. I love it. Okay, so the card is really purple with some orange. So I have got a bunch of blue and green ones. I use the pink ones up pretty fast because, I don't know, I feel like they have a really vibrant energy and sometimes I just need that. I don't often need the calming ones. I mean, it's always good to be calm, but I like to save those for crisis mode. Oh, this one's strawberry cream. It smells so good. Okay, focus. The star. I'm gonna do one. Okay, this one's white with a lot of blue specks in it. It's got kind of like crystal-y looking bits. I'm gonna do that because it reminds me of stars in the sky. Right. That's all picked out. Oh, I guess I could have shuffled on this. It's another sound I really like. Card for you guys. Let's do this. Let's see, what card can the Pinecones, what energy can you take with you today? You guys, King of Wands. Alrighty, an entrepreneurial spirit, a natural born leader, ideas that can be ultra successful, a creative visionary, timelessness, success, and fire. Fire, guys. Fire. That's a channel theme. Oh. Alrighty, King of Wands, this fiery guy. He's charismatic and natural-born leader whose vitality emanates through his laughter and his obsession with a life well lived. As you dance into this energy, you may feel a surge of entrepreneurial passion that pushes you to the edges of your epic success. The card of moguls, masterpieces, and soul inspiration. The King of Wands calls you to unleash that offbeat weirdo that you've got inside and be absolutely unapologetic in your pursuit of the stellar. Ground your vision through the wildly novel expression of big ideas, and if you find yourself getting tripped up by the minutiae of the everyday, recruit help and map out the bigger picture. Holler passionately. Invite others to see what you see. Keep arrogance and unrealistic expectations at bay and work out the kinks before charging ahead with your intensely vibrant heart. So King of Wands is the figure. Amazing. So I guess take that energy and go wild. Like I know you are. Wild cones. Now I want ice cream because I'm thinking of ice cream cones. So, I have made ice cream. Wasn't worth it. Even a little bit. It's a lot of work. And ice cream is good, but I've done it where you have a bucket, and then you have the drum inside with the custard, and you put ice, German. You put ice on the outside and then salt on top of that, and there's a crank, and you just crank away. I used to volunteer in a area where you essentially would dress up as pioneers, as like homesteaders in this historic site, and people would come tour it, and you were just there dressed in authentic clothing, kind of living the farm life. And of course I took to the chickens right away. They were very wild and not like my sweet chickens at home, but they were still, they did good. They picked around, did their thing. But we made ice cream there. And it was really hot, and, it's all authentic, so, of course, there's no AC or anything. Sometimes they had a cellar, which was down in the ground, so sometimes we'd go down in there. And this one time, oh my goodness, we made root beer, and one of the guys working there, they put it down, like, underneath the building, because that was there was like a cellar area there. Bottled it, put it down there, and root beer, if I'm remembering right, we used yeast. Like, there was yeast in it or something. Yeah, there was yeast. And when it started to, I guess, cure, I don't know the term for it, the bottles were too pressurized because we didn't have the formula right. And they started to explode. And I'm not talking about the caps coming off. They started to explode. And the guy who was in charge of this project was really worried that, if they explode down there, they were going to get insane amounts of ants. And this whole building, not sealed at all, because it was taken from a historic site. Like, it was very, very old. And he didn't want to get in trouble. So he ran down, and he was running these crates of exploding bottles up the stairs to get them outside. Very bad idea. Very unsafe. It wasn't like shrapnel, but they were like cracking open, and like parts of them were, popping off. It was pretty exciting. He got them, plenty of them still spilled, but he got most of them out, and we didn't get to drink any of it. But I don't think it would have been very good anyway, because I guess the ratio was off. Well, that's all the time we have for today. It was good talking with you guys. this is what it's like. So I hope you're doing okay. Things are really tough, and I'll just remind you that it's okay not to be okay. You're allowed to have bad days, and you're allowed not to know things. You're allowed to think about things, to consider things, to not know what to think, to change what you think, to learn things. That's all okay, and it never stops. You don't just know. So take your fire, and I hope the rest of your day is really wonderful. All 4K of you. Best pine cones ever. I wonder what 4K pine cones looks like. Oh, that sounds amazing. Maybe I can get on Photoshop and see how that would be. My dream, my Pinecone Forest, except no trees, just pine cones. All right. Okay. Bye.